Well, this is the Mitsubishi Triton, and it's always been a popular seller in Australia for a number of reasons. It's a trusted mainstream, brand for a start. Has good build quality, good reliability, comes with lots of standard features, and a very, very, very competitive price. So you put all those things together, and it's quite an attractive package. This is the GLS model grade, so this is one below the premium GSR. And let's have a quick look around. You can see it's got a very distinctive frontal treatment. You can see that with the distinctive chrome trims on the sides, and it really does make quite a visual statement. You certainly know it's a Triton when it comes up behind you. Nice 18-inch alloy wheels, lots of nice detailing here, satin trim along the side steps, chrome door mirrors. Now this one's fitted with the deluxe option, so that includes leather appointed seats. It's got electronic or electric adjustment for the driver's seat. The front seats are also heated, and you also get a 360 degree or bird's eye view camera, so that's quite a good thing. Very nicely appointed inside. A lot of people say that the Triton has a dashboard interior that feels very car-like, and it certainly feels like that just by the shapes and the contours. Nice mix of satin chrome, some full chrome, sort of like a pseudo machined face here around the gear stick, just exposed stitching, just really nice detailing throughout, which gives you the feel that it's a well-made vehicle, and it certainly is. Interesting too is one thing I really like about the Triton is this Super Select 2 four-wheel drive system. It's only in the top spec models like the GLS and the GSR, but it gives you 4 different options. Two-wheel drive high, you switch it to four-wheel drive high, and that's effectively like a full-time four-wheel drive system. So when you're driving on like icy or wet roads or whatever, you've got full-time four-wheel drive. The next option on the dial is four-wheel drive high, but with the center diff locked, and that's really good for situations like you might be on driving along long stretches of sand. You want to maintain good momentum, but you've got equal feed torque feed going to the front and rear axles. And then 4 low center diff locked, which is the same operation, but it's obviously in the low ratio. That's for really, really tough off-road driving, really technical stuff when you're just trying to crawl over rugged terrain. So that's really neat, and it's unique to the Triton, and it's one of its best features. So yeah, it's quite an impressive vehicle inside and out. So let's have a quick look in the back. And the rear seat is a little bit tighter than larger vehicles like the Ranger, but for someone like me, I'm 1.8 something meters tall, and with the driver's seat in my position, I've still got clearance for my knees, and my head isn't touching the roof, so there's certainly adequate room in here. Nicely appointed back here too. And one of the features I really like is up here on the roof, because this is where the rear seat passengers get their cooling from. They've got their own switch here, which allows you to control the fan speed, and you can also control where the air flows by these little flaps here. So you can have the air flowing to your face, or you can have it blowing down on the floor. So you've got plenty of adjustment. That's a really nice feature, having the air conditioning right up in your face where most people want it. That's a nice touch as well. So this one is fitted with a full tonneau cover on the back, which is nice, and inside that load tub is a full tub liner as well. So it's got a few nice accessories on this one. Nice big step on the back. You can see it's got quite a pronounced overhang on the rear here, from the rear axle to the rear bumper. But even though you would think that would have a problem in terms of carrying load, the vehicle is really well engineered. I've had big payloads in the back of these things, and you certainly don't notice any difference. It's not like it becomes tail happy with a sort of pendulum effect. If you're just driving it at normal speeds, you wouldn't even know the difference. It's got a 900 kilogram payload, so not quite a 1-tonner, but 900 kg is still a decent sort of payload. and it'll tow up to 3,100 kilograms or 3.1 tons of brake trailer. So even though they're not class leading figures, they're certainly useful enough for this category of vehicle. And the fact is, you know, few people who buy utes in this weight class tow more than 3 tons anyway, so it's certainly adequate for most owners. Now it's actually a little bit smaller than some of the big players in this category, like the Ford Ranger, but that in itself brings some advantages too. One is that it's lighter, and it's also, with its shorter wheelbase, it's also got good agility, good manoeuvrability, so it does come with advantages too. So that's how it looks on the outside. Let's jump aboard and see what it's like behind the wheel. Okay, a Triton GLS. Like all other Tritons, it's powered by a 2.4 litre 4-cylinder turbo diesel engine that has 133 kilowatts of power and 430 newton meters of torque, which is more than ample. And that's mated with a 6-speed torque converter automatic, which is a very smooth shifting transmission. It's very nice. It doesn't have as many ratios as some of its competitors, for example Ford's 10-speed, but it's certainly fine in this application. And you also have the option of manual shifting by these big paddle shifters behind the steering wheel, so you've got 2 options there. This engine is a great little engine, 2.4 litres, 133 kilowatts and 430 newton meters, so it really feels like it punches above its weight, because the Triton, because it's physically smaller than some of its rivals, which are well over 2 tons, this is just on 2 tons or maybe a fraction lower. So when you combine that engine's performance with the relatively light curb weight of the Triton, it's got a very good power to weight ratio, and the end result of that is it's got quite lively performance. It never feels sluggish or underdone in terms of power or torque, and it's a very good vehicle to drive. And another big factor I mentioned earlier is the fact that it's smaller means it's got a shorter wheelbase than a lot of its competitors. The wheelbase is only 3,000 millimeters or 3 meters, which is quite short compared to some of its larger rivals, which are in the region of, you know, 3,200 millimeters, around there. And that 200 millimeters shorter in wheelbase has quite an effect on the vehicle's handling, and it makes it very agile, very responsive to steering input, and that makes it highly maneuverable. And that's an advantage whether you're trying to squeeze it down some tight city streets or whether you're on a very technical section of off-road trails. It just makes it delightful really to handle, and that's one of the strengths of the Triton in comparison to its larger rivals. So overall it's just a very good package, and certainly from the driver's seat there's very little, if anything, you can criticize. So the verdict, well, it's not hard to see why the Triton continues to be so popular in the Australian market, because it's a mainstream, like it's a known, trusted brand. It's got really good build quality, build integrity, and it's backed by a really big 10-year warranty, which is combined with 10 years of cap price servicing. So you put all that together, that in itself is a very attractive package. But what makes it even sweeter is the fact that it's only about $52,000. before on-road costs. Now, an equivalent model grade, and some of its competitors, or most of its competitors, certainly the mainstream brands, you're talking at least $10,000, $15,000 or more. So when you put all that together, it's just a very, very good value for money package, and is probably the secret for why it continues to be so popular. So if you're in the market for a mainstream brand ute, and by that I mean a non-Chinese ute, and you've only got about $50,000 to spend, then you really should have a look at a Triton, particularly at this model grade, this specification, because you get a lot of equipment and you get a lot of value for money. Well, we hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give us a like and subscribe, and we always look forward to your comments too. Look forward to catching up with you next time. See ya.